Guilty Gear X, you will be forgiven if you didn't immediately realize, it is the second game of the series. Released in 2000 for the arcade and Dreamcast, and then the next year for the PS2. We will be specifically talking about the PS2 version. To make things even more simple, there are 3 different versions. The original, Guilty Gear X Plus, Guilty Gear X 1.5, but they are mostly the same game in the end, released at different times and different zones. Guilty Gear Plus has some extra characters and modes, but it was only available in Japan, and 1.5 was only released in the arcades. But after the immense success of the first game, it was no surprise that Arc System Works started working on the sequel almost immediately, and in a few quick years, it was ready. Like I said, there is no story mode in Guilty Gear X, but there is in the enhanced Guilty Gear X Plus edition. Unfortunately, I only own the basic version, so I will give you a short summary of the game's story. Set a year after the events of Guilty Gear 1, once again a gear hellbent on destroying humanity appears. So, as it worked really well the first time, they once again hold a fighting tournament to find someone who can actually do something about it. They promise $5 gajillion world dollars to the one who actually defeats this gear, called Dizzy. Of course, our main man Sol, bad guy, eventually defeats her, but he decides she's harmless and spares her. After that, our main wingman Kai Kiske takes Dizzy and entrusts her to Johnny and the Jellyfish Air Pirates, who happily take her in. And so, the threat of the gears is stopped again. For now. By the way, Jam takes credit for defeating Dizzy and collects the prize money to start her own little restaurant, starting her infamous long journey of hardships and multiple restaurants, but that will be the story when we get to the other Guilty Gear games. The gameplay is still the same fast-paced, smooth action like always, with long combos and easy enough to pull super moves, and of course the amazing instant kills. Though, thankfully, instant kills just win you the round and not the whole match now, so you can't cheese as easily. The new addition in Guilty Gear X is the Roman cancels. By using half of your tension gauge, you can cancel any combo and immediately go to a neutral stance. To continue a different combo, start a new one, or block, or really anything you want. This simple addition adds a lot of depth. The Roman cancel has been adjusted multiple times over the years, but it is still a part of the Guilty Gear series even today, so I think we can all agree it was a welcome addition. Though some things do remain the same from the first game. If you are new to Guilty Gear, you will get the absolute shit stomped in by the computer. It is easy enough to pick up and really hard to master. I promise you, the first time you get to Dizzy, you will understand. There are some easy ways to cheese her with certain characters, but if you truly try to get her down head to head, be prepared, you will have to try many times. The game also still suffers from some of the characters being obviously better than others. But thankfully, all in all, every character feels good and, more importantly, is fun to use. I just wish that it didn't feel so hopeless if my friend picks Johnny and I feel like I can't do anything. Oh, and yeah, the instant kills are better than ever. At least with a few notable exceptions. Like Sol's is so boring. It is obvious they designed it first, and then they just kept pushing with every new character they added. And somehow they just didn't come back to Sol after they did every other character and realized they can do so much better and so much more with them. And so in the end, Sol and Kai are a bit boring. It's always hard to judge graphics of old games. What I think looks good or bad has been changed and molded by modern games that I have seen, and it's honestly changed so much it's hard to take an objective look on old games. But I think it says a lot when I think, hey, this looks pretty good, even with my modern jumbled sensibilities. For example, I called the first Guilty Gear a bit of an ugly duckling, but my friend told me I'm crazy and the sprite work is beautiful. Now, he's obviously wrong, but that shows you we can have different opinions about this. So I looked at some old reviews on Guilty Gear X, and it seems the people at the time did enjoy the graphics. IGN even called it the best looking 2D game ever made. So I think we found it, the point where Arc System Works becomes synonymous with amazing visuals and excellent graphics. Now let's talk about the stages. There's no question that they are very beautiful, but there's one gripe I have about them. Some of the stages have foreground objects, which, normally doesn't really matter, but these are too big and get in the way multiple times. You get stuck in a corner, and to make things worse, there's something to blocking your view. And it can get really frustrating when you're in a tight spot and you're pushed in the corner and then there's a signboard or a statue or something. But I'm trying to say, I don't like them. The music is exactly what you would expect at this point. If you like hard rock, you will like it. Though I have to say, I do enjoy the older tracks a bit more than the new ones here, so maybe not really a home run, but it's still all good stuff. Guilty Gear X is a deserving sequel for a great game. Now, of course, as one of the few people who actually enjoyed the Guilty Gear story, it is unfortunate that the original version has no story whatsoever, and I can't get my hands on the X+. But if you don't care about the story, or you can get your hands on the other versions of the game, then that's no problem. So all in all, I do recommend it to all fighting game lovers. And if you like Guilty Gear but haven't played X, I shall still think you should go back and do it. I have been going back to play all these old Guilty Gear games now for these videos, and it's been fun. They hold up great. It may be a bit hard to find a physical copy, and unfortunately, Guilty Gear X is a bit of a stepchild here. It doesn't have a release on PSN or Steam or anything. Somehow this game has become a bit of a loner in the Guilty Gear series, but it does deserve your time. So, hey guys, thanks for watching. Check out the video on the first game if you liked it. I will probably make a video on the other Guilty Gear games, so if you're interested, hey, press that subscribe button.